8 Secrets on Life and Samsara. Xiefeng. June 18, 2011. The total number of lives is fixed. The total number of lives in the Earth universe is fixed and does not vary. This is to say that the total number of lives is fixed and that the only changes are from the phenomena of the reincarnation of lives. This is as with the fixed quantity of water on Earth. If there is a drought somewhere, it does not mean that it has decreased. If there is a flood somewhere else, it does not mean that it has increased. Leave a bowl of water in the sun until it evaporates completely. Has it died? Of course not, it has reincarnated. When clouds float in and rain falls from them, has more water been produced? Of course not, it has just reincarnated onto the Earth. Unless the whole system of the Earth changes, the total amount of water on it will never change. It will neither increase nor decrease, just reincarnate. It may reincarnate into icebergs, the sea, the earth, or clouds. Water runs in cycles like this for thousands of years. The number of people on the earth has increased, so does this mean that new lives have been born? Of course not. These so-called new lives are just reincarnated from other spaces into the earth. If the number of people on the earth increases, the number of animals may decrease. If that of animals increases, that of humans may decrease. If that of lives in hell decrease, that of lives in the animal world may increase. If the number of people on earth suddenly decreases dramatically for a period of time, where have those lives gone? Are they dead? Of course they have not disappeared. They may have gone to heaven, hell, the plant layer, or the animal world. In short, the amount of life in the Earth universe remains the same, just as with the total amount of water on Earth. The lower a life's level is, the greater its quantity is. The amount of insects is surely greater than that of birds, that of grass is surely greater than that of herbivores, that of herbivores is surely greater than that of carnivores, that of non-humans is surely greater than that of humans, that of lives in hell is surely greater than that of lives in heaven, and that of human lives is surely greater than that of celestial beings. The question then becomes, why is the number of super-celestial beings in the celestial islands continent greater than that of humans on the earth? Is this a contradiction? Up to now, the number of super-celestial beings has been 30 billion, while that of humans has only risen to 7 billion. Does this phenomenon go against the law that, the lower a life level is, the greater that level's amount of lives is? Actually, no. From a static point of view, the number of super-celestial beings is larger than that of humans, but from a dynamic point of view, the number of human beings is still larger. The number of super-celestial beings has not changed across hundreds of millions of years, but the total number of humans has been trillions during the same time period. Things, including lives, are valued according to their scarcity. Jesus Christ told us that the road taken by great numbers leads to destruction, lower life spaces, but that only a small number will take the way to life. From this perspective, when a person views things as the masses do, then they will go toward lower life spaces. When the masses go a certain way and you follow them, then surely it will be toward lower life spaces. Only those who concentrate on the things that common people ignore and remain indifferent to the things that common people value highly have any hope of ascending to higher life spaces. Bad people must outnumber good people. According to the law of the amount of lower level life being greater than that of higher level life, it can be deduced that the number of evil people surely exceeds that of righteous people. This is also to say that the number of ignorant people is more than that of laities is more that of mortals is more than that of sages, and theirs is more than that of celestials. It is as in human society where the number of common workers exceeds that of business managers, that of managers exceeds that of city mayors, that of mayors exceeds that of provincial governors and ministers, and theirs is greater than that of national presidents and prime ministers. Any other arrangement would be chaotic and disorderly. Life is easy to reincarnate into lower life spaces but hard to sublimate into higher life spaces. In human society, it is easier to commit crimes than to become role models and easier to become bad examples than good ones because it is easier to appease one's flesh than to sublimate their souls. People like to cater to the values of the masses which fall into the category of high quantity but low quality of life, so it is much easier to reincarnate towards lower life spaces, and many do that unconsciously. Therefore, when the masses believe that, when a boy grows up, he takes a wife, and when a girl does so, she finds a husband, it is a natural outlook on life, and you can predict the results when you take it as your own. When you follow the masses who are making money and doing business with companies, the consequences of reincarnation can be foreseen, but when you follow those who practice Qigong to attain Buddhahood or become celestials, you will certainly achieve a very different result. The number of people who are going to higher level spaces is small. Ordinary people have inertia, are unwilling to accept new ideas, new thinking, and new values, and prefer traditions that they are unwilling to surrender, so it is hard for them to sublimate towards higher level spaces. Leopards cannot change their spots. Peonies have shown their nature for thousands of years, as have lotuses, willows, cattle, and sheep. Without external forces or infiltration from different structures, material will not change. Without guidance from gods, Buddhas, celestials, demons, goblins, or monsters, we will always remain human. Therefore, in the process of reincarnation, we must approach those who have the consciousness of celestials, Buddhas, and gods. If we hear their teachings and practice them, then we will be blessed greatly. In the same way, if we follow people with elusive thinking, it will surely lead us astray. If you want to sublimate your life to higher level spaces, then you must never follow the words and deeds of like-minded people. A leopard cannot change its spots, and it is very difficult to change a person. Therefore, every stylite must remain awake. If there is no experience of being reborn, then their own life will be difficult to sublimate. The direction of life is determined by our consciousness when we are dying. The direction of life is determined by people's consciousness at the moment when they retire from this world. We know that the essence of life is determined by its non-material structure, which is mainly shaped by its type of consciousness, its non-material structure, and its life state. Therefore, if someone attains the consciousness of an animal at the very moment when they leave the world, then they must go to the animal world after they die. But if they attain the consciousness of a celestial being when they leave the world, then they must go to fairyland, and so on. A question arises here: if one maintains a human consciousness throughout their life, can they suddenly attain Buddha's consciousness and go to the Pure Land at the moment of their physical departure? The answer is no. There is no possibility of a qualitative change without an accumulation of smaller quantitative changes, nor can anyone overcome the gravity of their life. Additionally, human consciousnesses develop toward the places where their treasures lie. If they lack any accumulation of treasures in heaven, it will be impossible for them to attain the quality of life in heaven without having their treasure there. Where our treasures lie, so too will our hearts be, and there we will find our futures. The imprinting of life's reincarnation. Geneticists know that human DNA carries genetic information, and that people who have had physical injuries in their bodies in previous lives have been imprinted with those injuries in their current lives. By observing what people say and do, we can trace back to their previous lives, and just as geologists know the changes that have taken place by studying landforms and geological structures, we can infer the ages of people by observing their appearances. As we study different kinds of people, we can see that some have been specific types of animals in their previous lives, some must have been humans, and some are from heaven. Sherlock Holmes's ability to solve crimes came from his mastery of details and how he could make judgments based on clues left at the scenes of crimes, including where the criminal came from and their basic characteristics, because everything is imprinted just as with the reincarnation of life. This gives us the message that in order to ascend one's life to heaven, all their human imprints must be eliminated. The mystery of Mengpa soup. Note: Mengpa is the Lady of Forgetfulness in Chinese mythology. It is said in Sutra of Hell's King that ghosts in hell who qualify to reincarnate upward are offered a bowl of Mengpa soup, also called ecstasy soup, to each one, which cause them to forget their previous lives before joining the mortal world as new lives. This is both great compassion and a law that keeps all kinds of lives in order and maintains their dynamic balance. If their memories of previous lives were not eliminated, then human society would be unthinkable. What kind of relationships would exist if people learned that in a previous life, their children were enemies, that their spouse was their grandmother, that a close friend was their enemy, or that their pet was their child? It would create complete chaos and their thinking would be confused. Therefore, the lower level a life is, the more their memories of previous lives must be eliminated, otherwise, not only would the mortal world be chaotic, but even heaven would be. Each life's information about their previous lives are in codes which cannot be revealed or deciphered randomly. These are cosmic secrets, and if they were to be revealed, conflicts and disasters would result inevitably. The vast majority of people live in confusion and are unaware of the universe's secrets. This is why Jesus said, "To you, it is given to know the mysteries of the kingdom of God, but to those who are without, all these things are done in parables, and, that seeing, they may see but not perceive, and hearing, they may hear but not understand, lest at any time they should be converted and their sins should be forgiven." The mysteries of life are endless, and interesting to explore.